Hey everyone, it's Dave. We're back with Thunder, my 1990 Mazda Miata. Got the transmission out for another reason, but while it's out, I'm going to take the chance to do some preventative maintenance and repair or replace the output seal and the input seal on the transmission. So let's get started. You're watching Dave's Auto DIY. So we'll start with the input seal. I've already taken the rubber dust boot off where the clutch fork goes through the side of the bell housing here. We'll remove now the clutch fork itself and the release bearing by pulling apart on these two metal pins that hold it onto the ball, the pivot ball there. And we can pull the release bearing off and just take the clutch fork out. We'll set those to the side. Then we'll remove the seal plate. It's got 6 12-millimeter bolts. Oh, I'm going to need a longer extension. Okay, got my longer extension now, and I'll remove these 12-millimeter bolts. And with those removed, you should just be able to pull the seal cover off. And when you get the seal plate off, there's a little ring. Let's not lose that. I'm going to take that out and put that to the side. And then I need to remove the old paper gasket, hoping it comes off in one piece, or nearly one piece. So I've got that cleaned up a bit. Now here's the seal that we need to remove. And where's my new seal? And there's the new one. So I'm just looking at how it's in there right now, make sure I orient it the same way. It looks like it's in recessed a little bit past the front of the plate here. So it'll give me an idea how far I need to push it in. Now to get the old one out, I don't have a seal removal tool. I've got some picks. I understand it can be a bit of a bear to get out. Hopefully this one isn't too bad. I've seen people on the internet use torches to try to get it. Let's see if I can get it with a pick. The key is I just don't want to get all the way through to the metal seat and scratch it at all. Oh, got it. So I put a little bit of transmission grease or transmission oil on there so I can push it back in. Just going to try to push it in smoothly by hand to start. Piece from a ball joint press kit was pretty good to fit right in there, and then I just tapped it with my rubber mallet until I could hear it seated properly, and it's now down below the level of the rim. I think that's good. Now I used a bit of black gasket maker to run a bead around the edge of the seal plate and positioned the paper gasket on there, stuck it on, used that gasket maker to help stick it in place and carefully position it. Then I used a clean rag to clean up the sealing surface and reinstalled that metal ring onto the seal plate. I used a little drop of transmission oil to help it stick while I slid the seal cover back over the shaft and into place. The proper torque spec for these is only 14 to 18 pounds. Well, I managed to screw that up too. One of the bottom bolts there, as I was torquing it, the torque wrench wasn't clicking. I just kept going and going. I don't know why it wouldn't. All the others worked fine. This one didn't, and I ended up snapping the bolt off. Luckily, I just took the plate off. There was enough of a stub of the broken bolt left. I could get my pliers on there and pull it out. But I'm going to have to get a new bolt before I can finish this job. In the meantime, for the sake of the video, I'll show you what I would have done. I would have put a bit of grease on the pivot ball, get that nice and greased up. Also put a dab of grease where the throw bearing touches the clutch fork, and a dab of grease where the slave cylinder touches the clutch fork as well. Then with everything greased up, you can slide the clutch fork back through, clip it onto that pivot joint, also clip it onto or attach it to the throw bearing, and slide everything back into place. So coming around to the output bearing, there's a little metal lip around it, just enough that I believe I should be able to tap it out. So I could tap it out little by little on each side until it popped all the way off. And then I cleaned up the seal surface with a clean rag. I'm not sure this was 100% necessary, but I chose to put a little bead of gasket maker around the outside of the seal to add a little bit of lubrication and also to help it seal when I put it back on. Then you can use a large socket that fits over the seal and just hits on the metal part. I'm using a cup that came with a ball joint press kit that is the right diameter, and just tap it in place using a hammer, making sure it seats nicely up against the housing on all sides. Okay, I made another mistake. On this output seal, there actually is a top and a bottom, and I did not pay attention to that. There is a little tiny hole which is supposed to go at the bottom in the rubber part. I've got it at the side. So, oh well, it's gonna have to do. I'm not taking it out. Well, that's it for changing the seals. I did get both the input and output seal completed. Unfortunately, I can't actually finish the job until I replace that bolt that I over torqued and snapped. So I hope you learned something. I hope you hit subscribe, and I hope to see you next time on Dave's Auto DIY.